And for more analysis of the trial, we bring in Channa Lloyd, a civil rights attorney with the Cochran firm in Florida. Thanks so much for joining us, Channa. Let's start with what we heard today from Officer Nicole McKenzie, who does medical support for the police department. She said that someone can be in respiratory distress and still speak, but she also admitted that surrounding chaos can make it difficult to assess someone's medical needs. What would you say her testimony accomplish, and could it have cut both ways?
Her testimony absolutely cut both ways. She gave the defense a little nugget in the fact that she admitted that a crowd can be distracting when you're looking to administer aid. She also gave the prosecution something when she said someone can be speaking but still be in respiratory distress. So she gave a little nugget to each side. Although I will say, and I think some people will think that she is talking about medical aid that an EMT is going to give because that is her training. An officer is really looking for vitals and performing CPR. So there is a little bit of a difference, but she definitely gave them a nugget.
We also heard about how the Minneapolis police trains their officers and that the use of force should be proportionate to the threat. How clear-cut is this in real life, both for police officers in the field and for jurors when they have to decide if an officer acted lawfully under unique circumstances?
It's definitely not a clear-cut theory, although the graph makes it easy to understand. In minute by minute, when you're replaying a lot of videos in these types of cases and instances, it's not very clear. It is very murky. And typically, historically, jurors have given the benefit of the doubt to the law enforcement officer if there is one on the table. This particular case has a lot more clear video, so it'll be very interesting to see how the jurors side on this.
A key witness could be Maurice Hall, the passenger who was in Floyd's car the day that he died. The defense wants his testimony, but Hall is threatening to invoke his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Do you think that we'll hear from him? And if so, what might we learn?
It's a curious thing that he is going to invoke his Fifth Amendment right, because typically if a state wants them to offer, they'll cut some sort of a deal. It looks like they have not offered one, and he is not going to incriminate himself. The defense is looking to have him come in because he can directly testify to the drug use that may have occurred in the car, that may have been happening. So this is something that the defense wants in if possible. But if he's not going to testify, we're not going to get a lot in because the judge wants to be sure that he is not going to take the fifth in front of the jury, because that can leave that question unnecessarily about what's happening, and the jury can feel like there's something more behind why he's taking the fifth.
Any indication just yet, and you may not know this, but the likelihood that he will testify?
As it stands right now, I don't believe he'll testify if he's not offered immunity. And so far, it seems as though the state is not offering it to him, so I do not expect him to testify.
Anything in particular?
Unless it's on a very narrow scope.
That they would only ask very limited questions.
Correct.
Anything that struck you in particular today or in the past 7 days that you feel like this was really a significant moment?
They're all significant in different ways because this case is so out of the norm of what we see in these types of police abuse cases. All of the law enforcement that's testifying, we're seeing a crumbling in the blue wall where they are actually standing as one voice to say, this is not representative of our training, of our culture. That is a significant departure from what we've seen in these cases. We have people that have trained with Chauvin that have known him for 20 years, that when she looked at the pose, couldn't identify what move that was. That's a very significant, impactful little note that I think the jury is going to take notice of. And of course, our bystanders are very significant because they were there looking to get aid to Mr. George Floyd, and that the police officers did not respond in any format to those cries of help.
Channa Lloyd, our thanks to you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.